Andre J.
Hey, I'm Star.
And welcome to another episode of Exploring the Video Synthesis Ecosphere, spooky Halloween style. Yeah, we got shit goth.
Hence the background.
Yeah, really sparse lighting. Just trying to create a mood.
Right.
Got my hair in scary clown mode, for this.
Is it working?
It's not working. It's not broken.
Right.
It's literally still recording, so that's the most we can ask for.
Yeah,
or
true.
the least. But today, what are we going to talk about today?
Today we are talking about all sorts of Waaave Pool phenoms with mixing, delays, filters. We're going to take you through an acid-like experience in a couple minutes.
Yeah, so Waaave Pool is already pretty psychedelic in general. You may have recognized patterns from experiences in life that you have had. There's one mode in particular that I'd like to take y'all's down, which I feel is very much like the canonical kind of coming up on acid kind of thing, where you get after images, this weird sort of color distortion thing happening. But yeah, so we'll get started. Also, I want to show y'all's. I'm finally gonna get off my ass and get together. A lot of people have sent me these really nice templates for the what do you call it?
The nanos?
Yeah. So you can have a reference, or this one is just to hold off to the side so you can see what each of the controls do. Yeah, we have some crazy lighting going on here. So,
yeah, but you get the point.
Yeah. So we're going to be using that, and by the time this video goes up, on my website, I'll have a folder download where you can download all the ones that various people have sent me. And big thanks to everyone who sent me. This is just the most recent one I've got from Mark. Thanks a lot, Mark, for sending these, and big thanks to everyone who's put these together. And yeah, you'll be able to use them. Everyone will be able to use them in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we're using as a sort of guidepost for things. I'm pathological and design these things, so I have everything memorized, but if you're not this brain, then you'll probably want to have this around to start with.
Definitely. I wish I had that to start with. I can't even tell you what I associate these knobs and sliders with. It's a feeling, you just
yeah, it's muscle memory.
Yeah, right,
slash,
a lot of that.
This sort of dream memory kind of thing.
Right. Just a ton of that. So shout out to Mark, because that puts words to things that never
Didn't
had.
know that words existed.
Never heard of a word.
Was there language ever?
Only Waaave Pool.
It's the nice thing about video art. You don't need language
Not
to
at
use
all.
video art. You could have the aphasia, one of those strokes where you lose your language.
Right.
But you can still communicate through shapes and colors.
Right.
So
wow.
possibly
What
this
a
sort
beautiful
of
way of putting that,
Yeah, it'd be very sad if you actually lost language.
Yeah, I was wow, that could have took a turn. But we reeled it in, and that's what we tell you, okay? Spooky edition, all right?
We got emotional highs, emotional lows. That's sort of what Halloween's all about.
The day-to-day spookiness, the real-life spookiness.
Yeah, speaking of which, I made some Halloween plans with a friend. I was they usually don't like scary movies, and I was we should watch a scary movie on the projector. And they're I don't really like to be scared by movies.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was just how about we watch Enter the Void?
Ooh.
Not quite the traditional horror movie,
right?
But
it can be taken that route.
Yeah,
because
it's unsettling.
Yeah, it's all mental.
Very unsettling, but that's my Halloween plans. Do you have any Halloween plans?
I will be at a rave. Typical star behavior. Halloween fell on a Sunday. Which means I don't have work for once. So I'll be at a rave in some sort of costume. I don't know yet, but I need to get on that. Time is moving.
What's the favorite Halloween costume you've ever had?
Ever?
Yeah.
Sheesh. Dang. Okay. I think I was in middle school, and I was the fucking scary ass pig from Saw.
Oh shit!
Do you remember
Yes.
that pig?
Yeah.
That was iconic. Like, that was an iconic look for me.
Oh.
My mom still owns that pig mask and takes great joy in it because she uses it every year for her decor, for her fake person outside, sitting outside the door. So I think that was my favorite because it's still kept in the family somehow.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's become an heirloom.
Yeah. Literally. Oh gosh. Okay. Anyways.
All right. So Waaave Pool, extra psychedelic mode. So the way you get into this mode, so we're not going to key anything in to start with. We're going to use negative mix. So we'll take mix to negative a tiny bit.
Yes.
So let's grab this one.
Uh-huh.
And then you start to see this kind of like strobe thing happening, and that's when you're good.
Mm-hmm.
So then we'll turn the delay time up some, and we just want to turn delay, so that's
Ooh,
all the way down here.
the delay.
So just like a tiny bit above like 0. So let's notch it down a little bit. We just kind of want to see like a half second back. Like right about here. Yeah. So it's gonna look pretty weird and muddy at first, but just bear with us.
There.
We'll turn up the saturation all the way and the brightness.
Okay.
Yeah. So we get in there, we start messing around with the hue, and we want to crank the temporal filter almost all the way up until we get into like paint mode. Let's pull the keying out. Alright. So this is full face melting zone right now.
Right.
We do this a tiny bit so we can have a little bit of the intro of the seed video in. And we crank up the brightness and the saturation all the way. And we get this sort of like color churning thing over us. We then invert saturation and invert the brightness. That was just me trying shit out. Yeah, let's just invert saturation. Oh, yeah, let's invert them both. That was good.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, there we go. So you can see that like the trails are being like we have like a sort of like afterglow effect happening.
Mm-hmm.
And now if we start to mess around with hue some more and just position, change the X a tiny bit. So it's going to take a while for things to catch up. We're going to get like real heavy dose happening right here.
Oh, your eyes. The eyes trailed.
Yeah, the reflection on my glasses. That's a pretty good one. Let's see if we change mix to positive, what happens? Kind of turns it up into like paint mode. And we're like almost frozen out of everything. Turn these ones, yeah. Keep this one back on. So if we invert saturation, a neat thing that happens is it kind of makes things like pastel. So instead of having that like pure ultra saturated thing, we can like pastelize things. So this is special Easter mode version of our Halloween edition. And as you kind of go back and forth on the mixes, you get like very different effects. So if we crank mix all the way to negative, let's get a little bit more light in here. Yeah. You can see this sort of like churning tactile feeling. Mess around with the crazy hue controls.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely fun to play with, especially if, there you go, more shining. Especially if you're not in a haunted basement. This is a nice one. I've been looking into, I would like to find like some good like battery packs to use with these.
Yeah.
But I feel like it'd be fun to take these like outside and like shoot live like somewhere.
Totally.
Because I feel like it gets, I get like a little bit, the life of a video artist and video synth designer oftentimes means I'm just sitting in a fucking lit basement for like 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like bathing in the glow of a CRT.
Right.
Trying to figure out some way to get this stuff happening outdoors seems like crucial.
Yeah, totally. I kind of want to invest in just like a small, like a really not too expensive Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you can just like be able to even have like jam outside too, like
Yeah.
cute little setup.
Yeah, with something a little bit more than like Volcas and teenage
Exactly,
engineering
exactly,
things. Like,
exactly.
You want to get the Roland out there.
Yeah,
or something,
exactly,
like
the Roland,
some beats,
all of
like
that.
a little powered speaker and shit.
Right.
I think Roland makes one that's like a little amp and battery in one.
Oh, nice.
Not super cheap, but it's like
Yeah.
a good like party zone. But yeah, I like especially this kind of stuff that's happening right here. So
Yeah.
like on my shirt, and then you see like if we turn up the delay time even more, you can get like even more like startling like long-term things happening. But yeah, just to reiterate how we got here, mix to negative, or try mix to positive all the way, and you get that mode. Mix to negative, crank up saturation and brightness, and then turn the delay down so it's just like a couple of frames where you can like count the frames as they go by, and then start jacking up temporal filter. Oh yeah, we can also increase the resonance on the temporal filter, and that'll make some of this blob stuff live longer. Just slightly displace some of the geometry. And yeah, then once we start keying stuff in, you'll see we can like contrast between like
the two, yeah.
Yeah, the invert mix stuff, the subtractive mixing things, and then the background. But yeah, let us know what you would call this mode in the comments.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I have a name for it. I used it a million times in like Neon Genesis Evangelion ones, and people have been asking me about how to actually do this for a while. So I guess we could call it Eva mode, but that's a little undescriptive.
Now we're just losing ourselves.
Yeah.
In it.
We're having a light bath. What happens if we add some zoom out, add some rotations, increase that shit? Oh yeah, now it just looks like harsh noise.
Yeah, this will
harsh video noise.
pair well with the harsh audio noise that is to come.
But yeah, I think that's about it for this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Let us know what you want to name this mode, and we'll rename the title of this episode that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
There's some nice like a little ice cream machine, like rainbow sherbet in the background.
I love that. I love that. All right, peace.
Cool. As always, have fun.